welcome back. Oh my gosh, my voice. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I don't really talk until I need to, and then I hear my voice. They're like, what the heck is wrong with you? I swear, I feel fine. My voice just sounds like this. So I'm going to make this really short. In this video, we are going to be talking about the costumes worn by Lanfear, or Selene, in season 2 of the Wheel of Time TV show. And the spoilers in this video are going to go through to the end of the book series, the very, very end. Like, we are even going to go beyond, wow, my voice, go beyond the end of the book series to like the secret that was dropped by Brandon Sanderson recently. So if you have not finished the book series, if you don't know that secret, this is not a safe video for you. I'm going to be joined by Pez, costume expert, who famously watched all of season 1 of the Wheel of Time without having read any of the books. I was able to predict things that happened later on in the series. Wow, my voice is dying. Anyway, just based on hidden clues in the costumes. She's read the book series as of now, so she can't be doing that, but she still knows a lot about costumes. We'll be talking about that as well. I'll be joined by Bree, the best-selling, one half of the best-selling romance fantasy author duo, Kit Rocha. Very recently, they released Consort of Fire, which is a very fun, very adult, horny dragon book, which I recently read and really, really enjoyed and highly recommend. So you can check that out. But yeah, let's get into these costumes. Again, full spoilers.
Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy. Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy.
Right. Okay, so we are back after some weird camera shenanigans that went on. But we are back to talk more costumes. And yeah, I think we decided this time to start with Bree's favorite. Which is
Lanfear!
yes, Lanfear.
Unlike
who
Jen.
had
Wait,
some-
wait. Maybe I can express my. I gotta remember how to do it.
Oh, that's your Lanfear celebratory. Oh, it's great.
It's Lanfear time!
Yes. I was joking about the Lanfear Dougie, but you really pulled it out. That's
Listen,
oh,
did not see before season 2 coming that this was going to be my response, but I love her now. I mean, I've always been a little bit of an apologist because in the book series, the girl was just like, hey, gender imbalanced magic is unfair. We should do something about that. Like, relatable.
Yeah.
yes. It really is. I heard somebody recently call it a bit of a bait and switch. Probably was Gus. Probably. Generally, I think that like the idea that the story is, original sin was done by a man, and then you get to a certain point and it's like, no, whoops, it was a woman who
Yeah.
literally wanted knowledge. That's literally the original sin, like wanting knowledge, and so it was like that is irritating. And I remember once describing the book series to somebody, like they started asking me questions, and when I got to that point, because that was one of the things they were at, like, why is it separate? Why are there two different things? And then the questions went forward, and I ended up mentioning about that, and their response was, oh, so it's another women are evil story. And I was like,
I
no,
mean, a
little bit, yeah.
I was on Malkier Talks, the podcast, and I mentioned that it makes me a little mad that, the premise of the series is that some poor woman just wanted gender equality, and she found out that the only person offering it was Satan,
Yep.
and so free healthcare too. So, I mean, Lanfear, girl, you've got the costumes and, let's go.
I think I ended up less of a Lanfear apologist and more of a Selene apologist. When I read the books, I was so mad at Rand and the boys for falling for this Selene thing. And then we meet Selene in the show, and it's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Selene in the show worked so well. Like, my sister watched, I think, the first 5 or 6 episodes of season 2 before starting the book series. So she started, after that, started book 1. And then she started book 2 after finishing season 2, and didn't remember that the character in the show's name was Selene. So when Selene showed up, she thought it was just a new character, and sent me multiple messages about, who's this Selene woman? Like, she's so annoying. What's wrong with Rand? What? She's so annoying. She's so annoying. And then later on, when I explained to her that they were the same person, she's like, oh, she's so much better in the show.
season 2, Sapphics apologized to Rand al'Thor tour.
Yes, it really is. It really is. It's like in the show, everything makes more sense. In the books, I said this to my sister. So if you watch those videos, apologies, this will be just a retread. In the books, in book 2, I constantly have to remind myself that Rand is a 20-year-old virgin, never seen a boob, and like there's this girl wandering around in his t-shirt, which is, or his like, all right, he's not thinking. Like I constantly have to remind myself he's not thinking.
It's so much nicer to be watching a show where I'm like, I wouldn't be thinking either.
Yeah. Yes. Like book 2, I kind of lose respect for Rand a little bit, and in season 2, I'm like, I get it. I fully get it. I would. Like at one point during season 2, when she's like inviting him to go on a weekend getaway, I was like, yeah. When a beautiful woman asks you to go on a weekend getaway, you go. And like literally in the middle of saying it, I was like, wait, no, Rand, don't you? What am I saying? Completely forgot she's evil. Completely forgot.
The bis and the pans and the lesbians are all so confused.
So confused.
I think it really makes the characters and the story a lot richer that they've made some of the decisions that they did in the show. And I know I've had a few people reach out to me and ask, why do you think they don't have Lanfear in white? And honestly, I think it's the best possible decision that they could have made to not put her in her, stereotypical book costume of the all white. Like, it doesn't send the message in the visual medium that I think it sent in the written medium.
Well, it's something you said in the I think the Moirene. Well, I can't remember which part of the video you talked about this in. Probably Moirene, where when you were describing something in a book, you can actually also describe the impression that it gives.
Yeah.
So you can sort of influence what people think. Whereas in the show, you just have to give that impression and try and make it as universal that everybody will take the impression that you want out of it. So, yeah, you have to be a bit more, I don't know, deliberate? I don't know what word I'm looking for.
You really have
You're
to
good with the
consider
words, Bree.
a lot of different angles with it, and I'm sure Bree can summarize this better than me from the costume standpoint alone. What I think of, honestly, is like if you have this gorgeous drop-dead woman who is playing the helpless ingenue and not very well. Like, she's not a convincing helpless ingenue in the books,
No,
Celine.
she's really not. You have to hit
and she's like drop dead gorgeous, and she's in the wood in all white. The immediate association you're going to make, if all you know from Wheel of Time is the show, is the white cloaks. And we know they're not our friends, right? And so you're going to go, okay, she's probably not a white cloak, especially once you see her channel, but you don't get
then
the
you're going to fall back on
goodness.
White Sister.
Right.
Like Aes Sedai.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Especially in this show where color is such a defining characteristics, because we do have the white Aja, the white cloaks, and then like every other female character comes associated with a color. Like,
yep.
Literally every other female character. Well, no, not men.
I mean, women in white in the books are very specifically novices and accepted too, for the most part. And that's like a visual we're getting a lot in season 1. So I do think, and when they finally brought out the wink towards it, I mean, can we just start with the white costume? Is that like, okay, or do we have to go in order? Because I do think it is like the iconic Lanfear look. And when they brought it out, because everybody was like, where's her white costume? And then they brought it out and I was like, oh shit. It is like the white costume, but it is it is the white costume in the same way that, Rand is a farm boy, but not a 14-year-old who's never seen a boob in this show. This is like sophisticated and it's so good.
It's so good. Yeah. I love the lines. And one of the things that I really love about the design lines of the costume on the whole is it's so modern. Especially like the split sleeve cloak, whatever you want to call the overpiece that she has. So it's not just modern, but it's current high fashion. We actually see aspects of this silhouette a lot, for example, on various royalty, like in our world. Like you see the silhouette a fair bit on like Kate Middleton.
Yeah, Kate Middleton just wore these sleeves, didn't she? I have that
the
one
sleeves
TikToker.
are super in right now.
Matter of fact or whatever on TikTok. She's like the one royal person who I get everything from, and she was just talking about those sleeves.
Yeah, and I mean, they're just getting that from like high fashion and stuff. But I love that she's got like the power shoulder pad thing going on. I don't personally like power shoulder pads, but I love them for Selene.
I also am not a fan of them, but I kept saying it throughout the season, like before the season ended. They did so much intentional mirroring between her and Moirene.
Yes, and power shoulders are a thing.
Yes, they are a thing. Yeah.
And I also love when you look at the next layer down, like you said, Bree, it's not just white. The white outfit got a glow up, right? So she's wearing something that looks like strips of leather woven together as armor. It's got this metallic element to it. So it's not just like pure moonlight or anything like that, but you get this impression of rays of light penetrating darkness because of how this costume interacts with light and shadow. And that is so perfect for the journey that they took us on just this season with Lanfear. But when you've read all the books, and especially for the people who have started to engage with like some of the behind the scenes content for the books themselves, I haven't done much of that, but Lanfear engaging with light and shadow is an overarching theme, I would say, of her whole story.
And I do like I don't know if in the show they actually said much about the whole daughter of the, the moon, like the moon stuff, because like moons for her, it's like she's like moon hunter to the wolves, right?
Right.
She's not daughter of the moon. She's daughter of the night. Daughter of the moons is
daughter of the 9 moons is
but she does have the moon stuff, and I feel like the costume also does have that like
this costume
silver moon,
yeah.
Like I mean, I feel like that's the colors that we associate with the moon right there.
Absolutely, it totally is. It's moonlight and shadow, and I mean, even the gray of that outermost layer of the cloak, that's kind of the color of the moon when you look at it in photographs. And I think that's also an interesting lens for looking at any of the Forsaken in costuming. Like, they're from a different era than the characters that we see. And so they have very different taste in clothing because of that. And they play with those elements every time we see them. But also think about the fact that like Lanfear might know what the moon looks like in a photo, right? Rand doesn't. And I love the patterning on the silver. Like, there's just so much going on. It's so good.
This is the first time I've zoomed in on it. I'm sorry.
It reminds me, I'm not sure if it's exactly the same pattern as the lace that was in that headpiece that she wears in what I call the Rand fantasy costume.
Yeah.
But I think it's similar. I mean, I know they did a lot of their own printing and stuff with the textiles and things. I wouldn't want to do that to leather, but I'm a designer, not a costume maker.
Yes.
I leave that to the experts.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this thing.
She's just so clearly having a great time.
Yeah. I like one of my interpretations of this scene, like Selene Lanfear had to pretend to live in the Foregate, and she probably hated every second of it because that is not the life she wants for herself.
Yes.
And so this was her being like, fuck this. Like, I'm done with this shit now.
You know she felt
make a distraction.
Well, and even
so
look at
far
her body
above
language
people
in this photograph. Like, she's got her hands wrapped into fists. She's grabbing and leashing the power. Like, she's a bad bitch in charge right here. And the costume tells us this, the body language tells us this, like the whole scene tells us this. It's great.
Yeah. I guess that this probably was a relief for her. I don't have to pretend to care about these people anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I love how much they've considered the play of light with her
Mhm.
costumes. It's so important to her character, and so many of her costumes have this great interplay between light and
Yeah.
darkness and shadow, and that's not an accident. Like, that is absolutely intentional, and I love it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, the way the sleeves peek out, it's just white, like light and dark entwining, you know,
Yes.
and that's a
Yeah.
very considering all the entwining that she and Rand have been doing this season, there's
Yes.
a visual metaphor there.
A few.
Yes. What I was going to say before, in these shots here, for me, just my, like, the gray doesn't look particularly reflective, but then you get here in the dark, like real dark, and it's really reflective, which again, moon, reflecting light. Like, that is, yeah.
And the light coming down on here is blue. Like, it is the visual language for moonlight. And I love that you see detail in the costume in moonlight that you don't see in daylight conditions when it's Lanfear. It's just like, yay, this is happy.
Oh, it's so good.
And look at the patterning. It's so beautiful.
Like, you don't, like, it's so cool. It just reveals more and more of itself.
Yeah. Almost like a wood grain pattern running through the white.
I was about to say, yeah.
It's so cool. Like, sorry, I've never zoomed. I wait to basically go over these with you. I never zoomed in on it. That is, it is like a wood grain. That is so cool.
So this picture has more light, and look at the crescent move carved into the headboard.
Yeah.
I just love that they've been telling everybody all along who she is.
Yeah.
I didn't notice this one, but I noticed another one. She has one on the outside of her inn.
Yeah, she has one on
which is called the Crescent. Her inn is called the Crescent, which I didn't notice.
It's called the Crescent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with this costume, there are some interesting things going on. So she's got the dark skirt. She's got the light colored blouse. There are some decorations on the blouse. There's one that looks almost like a bunch of grapes.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if that's disguising like a tear where somebody used embroidery to mend something, or if it's just decorative or not. But she's also got some lace under sleeves. And I really appreciated the touches of lace that we get with Celine, because if you're paying closer attention to what Anvers, for example, is wearing, she has more in common dress-wise with Anvers than she does with the people in the foregate. And so they're kind of telling us all along, Lanfear Celine doesn't really belong in the foregate as much as she's pretending to.
Yeah. Like, she couldn't even bring herself to be as foregatey as she should have to play like, yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Bree?
Well, we were talking about what did you call it? The leg of mutton sleeves?
Leg of mutton sleeves, yeah.
Yeah, she's got a variation right here. I mean, it's not quite the same as
bit.
But she's got the tight wrists and the,
wider
arms.
Can you, is it called leg of mutton?
Leg o' mutton, yes. It's literally because of the leg of mutton, the cut of meat.
Shape.
Okay.
So they come in different formations, but
okay. Because I tried to look it up because I'll put a subtitle, and I couldn't figure out what. I was like, what is it? I don't know what this word is.
I'll send you a link afterward.
Well, the Moirene video is already up, so there's no subtitles on it now.
There's some that are like really, really exaggerated. I mean, there was a time in history where you literally had like a hoop skirt structure in your sleeve to make it go poof. If you were really extremely in fashion. Thankfully, we don't live in that era, because I don't think I would like that. But
no. The less structure embedded in my clothes, the happier I am, just in general.
Exactly.
So, this is the one I noticed.
Yeah.
The moon here.
That one is a little more obvious, isn't it?
And this is that same. Sorry, I can't just zoom in on boobs. Okay.
You can.
There's that black.
Yeah, so she's got like this
black lace,
very deep V of scalloped lace in
which
this
is what
shirt.
Anvers has.
Yes, which is what Anvers has. And then she's got the sleeves as well. And then she's got this really pretty
Gorgeous.
blue wrap piece over the top. And one of the things that I really kind of like about the pattern that they put on her here is I'm pretty sure it's just like a vintage textile that they found, but I love the way that it almost looks like smoke or water waving through there. I'm not sure what it's actually meant to be, but that just felt very appropriate for Celine.
Oh, this outfit, this one. Okay, first of all, this is the shot that they like. It's from here, the shot that came out before her character was introduced, where everybody was like, "Oh no, I'm in love with her because she's stunningly beautiful."
Yeah.
But it also, this is the one where I jumped at when that blue's the same blue that Moirene was wearing all season 1. Like, what are you doing?
Yes.
Why are you mirroring my Moirene?
And it's a different blue than anybody else in the Foregate has. Like, she is just so much more vivid and seems more alive than many of the other people in the Foregate.
Absolutely. She absolutely does. So I just want to see what's going on the lace. Can't make out the exact lace pattern.
Yeah, it's pretty. Kind of
looks like
floral.
vines and flowers to me.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. But so good. Gosh, she's beautiful.
She's very, very
and
pretty.
the quality of this fabric compared to the fabrics all around them and Rand.
Yes.
It's like they've all got this coarse stuff and she's just like flawless smooth.
I suppose it could be dark blue, which would fit with what Anvers had for the lace. I've been reading it as black, but in this light it almost looks dark blue, and dark blue like would navy? Fit well with Kyrian, but black would fit well with Celine.
Fit well for yes. Yes. Oh, alarmingly beautiful. Like, it's this woman. So stunning. Sorry. I might have just taken a lot of screenshots just because I was like, hi. Don't know what to do. So okay.
She's so different here. And I love that she is appearing to be less than she does in the Foregate in a lot of ways. Like, look at how she's faded herself in her color palette. Now, she's more metallic, which is very Celine, but she's really allowed her color to sort of fade, and Rand comes to prominence. And I know we'll talk about him in another video, but one of the things I really love with Celine's costume throughout is see how she always has rings on multiple fingers.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a nod to the multi-finger Age of Legends Aes Sedai ring. Like, she's got something looped on the fingers that she would have had her original ring looped on.
Yeah. You know, you can buy those rings. They really exist. There's a company that makes them.
Oh, do they?
I found it. Yeah, somebody sent me a link to it. I can't, you know, I like this little hair decoration thing she's got going
it's
on
really
here.
pretty. I've seen similar things. Actually, there were similar hair ornaments that I think were the inspiration for Swan's headpiece in season 1 that put me on that whole path with like the phoenixes and everything.
Right.
And I think it's drawing from similar inspiration. Just Swan's, I believe, was inspired by like ancient Chinese empresses, and this is probably not an empress.
Yes,
they were drawing from.
But there is a certain Asian quality to the neckline here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not as familiar with specifically Chinese and Japanese designs as much, so I have a hard time sometimes going, is this a Chinese influence or is this a Japanese influence? And I think they have both Chinese and Japanese influences in the Kyrian design. I think they only mentioned China, but it looked to me like there was more than just those two.
Yeah.
When I look at that picture, what I just can't like not notice is she dressed herself up to blend in with the rest of them and dressed him up
to stand out.
Yeah.
Because she looks like the same color as
character.
Everything in that room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Glory. Like, this picture right here might as well be say glory.
Yes, that's true. Yes. Yes. Think of the glory, Rand. Yeah.
And the way they make her the same color as everything in this room. Like, her outfit is like the color of the wallpaper in the background and the paint and everything.
Yeah.
She
and
belongs
so many
with the
of the
splendor.
background characters are the same way, right? It's just Rand who stands out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. Yes.
Poor Rand.
He doesn't belong, and she set him up to not belong.
She did that on purpose.
Which is,
you could say it would be an accident, but no, because she knew, and then dressed him like
on
that.
multiple levels. There's both the you are the special one, but there's also the I think she put him off balance on purpose a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't want him finding any other allies, and by making him the odd duck, she remains the safe space, right?
Yeah. So this belt looks Japanese to me.
It does. And I also like how this silhouette is very different than the silhouette that we see on Ver and Moirene when they're at home.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is definitely like a very specific aesthetic for a very specific sort of an event. I'm really curious if we see this sort of silhouette ever show up again in anything going on in Kyrian, or if we stick more to like the blues that we saw at other times.
Right. And then she's got that's the same outfit. I always thought she had a different outfit.
No, it's the same one. So you can see now that the belt has like a lace or heavy embroidery applique texture of some sort. I think it's actually lace, but no, it could be applique. And then you can see a lot more detail in the brocade again when she's in the moonlight. Like now you can see the layers of silver and gold and so many of the details. And I just love the consideration they put in. I know I'm repeating myself, but to that aspect in particular, it just makes me so happy.
Like I, up until this second, thought this was a different outfit. No, like up until this second, it's
the same one.
Wow. And you could see so much. It's weird. You could see more of it in the dark.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing. That is very Lanfear. It's right there in her costume. This is another moment where I went, hey, they showed us in the preview. Rand doing this to Moirene. This is a mirror. They are mirroring them too much. Stop mirroring them.
Too much mirror. So this is when...
So this is after his
oopsie.
Yes. I was going to say wet dream, not wet dream. Hot dream? Dry dream? I don't know what to call it.
Somebody on Discord called it nocturnal ignition.
Yes. That works. Nocturnal ignition. Oh, this might be my favorite of the Celine outfits, to be honest, just because I think it looks gorgeous on her.
It's so fascinating. It looks like it's print. At first, when they released like the preview images, I thought maybe it was different layers of denim or something, but I think it's all screen printing.
Yeah. Oh, she's got the same. Sorry, I just realized I think...
Is she wearing a poncho? Like a poncho with a belt? I want to...
Kind of. It might be a Ruana, which is similar.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it might be kind of like a Ruana.
What is a Ruana?
It's very similar to a poncho, only instead of having just like the hole for the head, it has a center front closure. So it'll be like a triangular shawl type thing that you can wear like that.
Okay.
That one's got sleeves, but
yeah,
like it was also custom made for her.
Yes, and this one, like it has like frayed edges and stuff, which could be stylized, but it is the most forgady thing. I think the reason I like it the best is just because I think this blue looks stunning on her.
It's just really pretty. And the deeper she gets her claws into Rand, the deeper her blues become.
Yeah, it's a darker one.
Yeah.
And actually not as shiny anymore either. It looks like it's a little bit of a rougher textile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look really a little more matchy.
The only shiny she's got is in the the faintly metallic blue stripe of the blouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think she wears this when they go on the little weekend getaway.
Yeah, she wears that to go to Mount Murdrol or whatever.
I thought you were going to say to Mount Rand.
She does that in several outfits.
Yes. Sorry, can't make me laugh. I'll die coughing. Okay, this is the same outfit, just in the light. Yeah, but the reflection doesn't show up, of course, because we're in the daytime, and that's a nighttime thing.
Yeah, well, and it also depends on like the angle of the lens and the light. One thing I think is interesting here, I know we'll talk about Rand later, but the more blue she gets, the more brown he gets.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Yeah.
That is interesting.
I think it's to help us set up some visual distance in our minds as viewers between the two of them so that the sudden Moirene-shaped breakup doesn't come as quite as much a shock.
Yes. Yeah. Because I don't remember that. We'll talk. I probably should talk about this later, but again, you brought this up last time. I don't know if I remember this heron buckle for his sword from season 1, and they may never mention this because this might just be. Yeah, I would wonder if she got that for him.
Like, good question.
Yeah, it was just like, you got this heron marked sword. Look, I got you a gift. Like,
she does dress him in herons, but we'll talk about that later.
She does. Yes.
And of course, we did solve the hair debate. It was always hair.
I always thought it was hair. I always thought it was hair.
It was not a hood. She just has hair. Very silky hair.
Yes.
No comment.
Yes. Were you team hood, Bree?
I was team everything. I was like, there's a headband in the works here. I'm team headband.
Okay.
Legit. There was no team I did not join and then abandon.
Just like Celine.
Yes. Yeah.
My idol, honestly. Gatekeep, girl boss. Gaslight.
And I do love as well, like, if you see inside here, it looks like the screen print is reversed on the inside. So it's the lighter blue with the darker blue markings, and that's really striking.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I really like the way the sleeves look here. And then there she is wearing his jacket, homage to the books, where she's wearing his shirt, and he loses all ability to concentrate on anything.
And I do appreciate that he thought to get the jacket back before he and Moirene abruptly leave later.
Yes.
So look, you can see the metallic in her shirt again here, and it adds so much visual interest in this scene that I'm probably the only person paying attention to the metallic stripes for.
Yes.
Well, one thing that's just like, you know, it is appropriate that the details, the fine print comes out in her costumes at night, the daughter of the night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please read the fine print.
And this is where she's yep, exactly. And this is where she's like literally revealing to him, I'm a monster, and it's coming out in her costume too.
Yes.
Yeah. Like that's so cool. This
and look at the color shift here in the blouse. It's gone from blue to black shot through with silver. And it's not a different blouse. It's just the effect of the lighting in the scene. Yeah. But they do this a lot with we're full spoilers, right? Other characters who may or may not have a connection to the dark.
Leandrin's red and black kind of costumes.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of
that. Sheriam has it too.
Oh, I have to see that.
This is not really costumes, but oh my god, this looks so cool.
It looks amazing.
Evil. Oh, okay. This is a question I have.
The dramatic cloak sweep out the door.
Yes.
This silhouette.
Question.
Yeah.
I thought this was Moirene because the silhouette again looks like Moirene because we got the Lego
tight sleeves and
the exaggerated shoulders. She did not have this jacket when they got there. She had that nice little.
Correct.
At least that's all we saw her. She either magicked up a jacket or had a jacket that she carried with her. Fine, but the jacket that she puts on is a Moirene season 1 jacket.
This is her bitch please jacket.
Yes, but it's. Like
it's got the full shoulders. Okay, shoulders on the outside, like
yes. Like the costuming very, very intentionally was she's trying to ape Moirene, or whether she's trying to or not. But I
think it's also she's the dark mirror of Moirene.
Yes.
Like this is what happens when your obsessive need to serve the dragon goes too far.
Yeah. Obsessive need to serve the dragon.
I mean, through this whole end of the season, she and Moirene are just two women who are giving Rand different ideas about what it's going to mean to be the dragon and pulling him back and forth between them. And in the end, I mean, like Moirene literally tells Lan, you've got to let 1,000 innocents die if there's a chance that he could live. That's some Lanfear talk.
Exactly.
That kind of is. Yeah. Yeah.
So I love the visual parallels and that they continue. And if you look, this cloak, whatever it is, it's got silver shot through it. And so in all of those nighttime scenes that we get her in this one, and I think this is the same coat. I can't remember if it's the same coat or if it's slightly different from the one she wears when she goes to see Leandrin, but they both have the metallicness going on, which I really like.
Right.
Oh, the pajama party.
The pajama party.
I am so proud of myself because, again, this is only because of you I noticed this. I would never have noticed this before. It's just a white shirt. It is gorgeous. Look at her collar. Look at his collar.
It's so good, isn't it?
It's exactly the same. She made this. She made him. He does not really exist here. She made him specifically to mirror her. And I was like, oh, look, Pez, I learned.
You did. And I love that when they're comfortable with themselves in the dream, they're back to the Age of Legends rings, they're back to the Age of Legends shirts and things like that. And they put Rand in that too, right? Like, this isn't Rand the farm boy. This is something he only wears here in the dream.
This is their old buddy, their old play pal.
Yep.
Luz,
Yeah.
Who I think was their play pal. That's the vibe I get.
I'm not going to go on to AO3 looking, but I suspect that many fanfic.
Yes. The vibe I get is that Luz, Ishi, and Lanfear were all play pals at a certain point. Yeah. So that's all the pictures I got, I think, of this, just because it was...
I love it, though.
The same,
it's so good.
But it's so good.
So then we get to her outfit for Rand in the dream. And I had a couple people reach out to me about this one, asking during the strikes when I couldn't talk about stuff, what I thought of this and did I hate it? Because I guess there are some people who hate this outfit.
I talked to Rob from Malkier Talks, and we were kind of arguing about the headdress. And what I told him is that I love this headdress from afar, but I will own that, like, this is Maleficent. Go back to the other one. This is a little Bo Peep sort of situation.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. I get it. I get people who don't like it. I can hold the Maleficent of all in my head, even while zoomed in. But I understand that up close, it kind of looks like somebody's wearing a large baby bonnet,
Right.
Well, that's fair.
That was my sister's issue with it, was the headdress. I couldn't say, I suppose I could have at this point, but I'm pretty sure that that's supposed to be a moon. Like, there's some moon imagery happening in this headdress.
Yeah. Well, and
I was a little too distracted by the rest of it.
It looks like the Aes Sedai symbol, right? Like, you get the white coming through at times in some of the scenes. I think the bigger thing going on here, at least this is my take on it, this isn't Lanfear as Lanfear. We've seen Lanfear as Lanfear in Teleron-Riyadh. This is Lanfear appearing the way that she wants to appear to give Rand, for lack of a non-crude way to put this, a fear boner. Like, what would you want to dress as if you had a 20-year-old who thought you were hot and whom you wanted to terrify, and tell me this isn't the outfit? Like,
well, that was
this is like, her I'm a monster too outfit. That's why she's got horns.
Yeah.
Yes. I like when my sister was taught, like, she didn't really like this. I'm like, Tori, I'm not going to complain about the outfit. And she's like, oh, that's right. I'm like, yeah, no. The headdress aside, which doesn't bother me that much. I think I'm on the same boat as you, Bree. This would work for me. I would not say no.
Oh, it's flawless.
So she's also got the power shoulder, kind of.
Yes.
Kind of got a little bit of the leg of mutton sleeve.
Very much so. It's also very asymmetrical.
Extremely asymmetrical. And one thing I actually really like about the headdress here, it's a very dark foil to the white headdress that we see Moirene wear in the painting of Moirene and
Oh
Anvers.
yeah.
Oh,
So it kind of fits in with the Kyrian aesthetic in that way. And we don't know what the meaning of the headdress is at this point in time. I could tell you some of the things that I think inspired it. I'm pretty sure it might be like laser cut leather lace, which is really cool from a making standpoint. But I think it, like you said, it's moon imagery. It's a bunch of different things. But I also think of that parallel with that painting of Moirene.
Right, that's really cool.
This also just looks like a switchy as fuck costume. I'm sorry, like zoom back out. Like
yeah, and then
the left side's gonna dominate you, and the right side saying, "Hey, baby, Lou's still in there. You want to spank me for being a bad girl?" The left side is all armor and aggressive and hard, and the right side's got the little collar around the neck, the bare shoulders, the little cuffs on the wrist.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff going on here that I think, just
there's
multiple
a lot of layers, literally and metaphorically.
I was just gonna say, yeah. I hope I got a shot later on of the boots because I don't see the boots very much here, but yeah.
Immediately wrote those boots into a book.
Yeah, this is the coat that she wears to see Leandrin.
Yes.
And I do think it might be the same one that she wore when she was chasing Rand and Moirene. It's got the same shoulders and stuff, but the silver becomes more prominent. And it's just a really gorgeous costume.
Yeah. This, I think, it's so hard for me to say, might be one of my favorite scenes from this season.
Yeah.
Just because these two act like her and then the Leandrin, Kate Fleetwood.
It is such a powerful scene.
Dynamic scene, yeah. Just watching them play off each other was like, look up! Oh, sorry, I distracted myself. Look how bright it is now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Wow.
While she's literally slaying the patriarchy.
Yes.
Seriously, literally.
She's like, she shows up to do girl power.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she says that line from the trailer in the scene.
Yes.
There are many paths to walk through the night. So there's many ways to be evil, or not, or whatever, to follow the dark.
Yeah.
So she's offering Leandrin an alternative. But there's one point at which in episode 8 where Padden Fane's like, how the fuck did that bitch betray you? And she says the same thing. There's many paths to walk through the night.
Yeah.
So I love this.
And I love how that plays with the Aes Sedai and their oaths. Like, there's many paths to walk through the night. There's many ways to tell the truth and tell a lie.
Yeah.
I just love that interplay.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh.
Just because you've sworn to something doesn't mean you can't find ways around it, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this is the same jacket. In the dream world.
Yep.
But it's open, and then there's that deep
that lace is back underneath. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, and I'm sure most people have noticed this, but just in case there's anyone out there who doesn't, the Lanfear tracking is the short hair in the World of Dreams versus the long hair in real life.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that was I think most book readers got that. That was a bit confusing for non-book readers because the dream world is still nebulous in their heads at this moment.
Yeah. And also, I honestly think that's okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it because, it's a slow burn even for book read. Like, if you remember reading the books, which if you've read them for decades, I can understand not understanding, because I get this all the time where I know information and I don't know where I got it from. So, but you'd learn about the dream world over several books.
So so many. And one other thing is, like, I think part of the reason they really need a short hair versus long hair is if something else, if you didn't notice, Ishi's dream world scenes always glitched.
Yes.
Like, there was always like jumps and camera stops and starts and little like static. Hers don't. Like, the minute she pops into this dream, it stops glitching.
It's
because she's taken over.
Because she's
so much better at
it. Over it. Yeah.
And so there really does need to be a way to tell with her if this is the dream or not, because she's just that good at it.
Yeah, the dream world would be the same for her otherwise. So yeah. Yeah, like,
Such
hey,
a good
now she's in
coat.
the.
Oh God,
It
that thing
is,
has
and
pockets.
it has pockets. Pockets are the best, but she looks more relaxed in it here than she does
Yeah.
in it here. Like here, it's
Here, it's
so
completely closed up.
structured.
And when she's
Yeah,
got it on
completely.
in the dream, it's not closed up.
Yeah,
So she's mad
makes it
because he's about to
talk
fail
about.
test number 1.
Yeah,
Who do you want to see?
yeah.
Ask for anything. You better not ask
Egwene.
for your
She.
fucking ex-girlfriend, you little sniveling. Oh, your ex-girlfriend? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she knew that's what he was, especially when it was like anyone. She knew.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
She's
had to
not mad.
know.
She's just disappointed. And then she's going to knife him in the kidney
Exactly.
for it.
Yes. So just
It's,
those are
I
Oh,
think
that's
it's
beautiful.
wings,
wings. Yeah.
which is also what
It's
Moirene
wings in
had on
flight
her
with,
shoulder thing.
yeah.
Mhm.
And the wings spread like that. That's also the headpiece.
Yeah,
Yes, you're right.
yeah.
You're right. And then there's this
Oh my
outfit.
god.
Full
I
black now. She's
love
like, I'm
the power
Lanfear.
trousers so
Oh,
Yes, me
much.
too.
Oh, she's
yes.
got
Me
pockets
too.
again.
This is
Okay,
like a
you know what? We
jumpsuit, isn't
solved
it?
it. She
It
went
it's
to the dark one for pockets.
yeah.
Yes.
Like right? This is a jumpsuit. It's like a power jumpsuit.
It's either a jumpsuit or like really high-waisted trousers with a blouse. I could go either way on it, honestly, but it's beautiful, whichever it is.
Hmm.
I love it. I love it. And the way it's like closed at the neck, but it's got that like opening. She's just oh,
Yeah. And
oh.
it's got the really
So beautiful.
exaggerated collar, just like what Ishii had in season
Mhm.
1 with his Tuxedo Jedi outfit.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And yet this ear, okay, maybe I'll put it in the description of this video. I'm pretty sure you can get this earring at that store.
The
I
Oh.
can't
dragon
remember the
ear.
name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I remember to find it, I'll put it up on screen now. But there's this really cool jewelry store that makes really unique jewelry. And they use them for the show. And it's so cool.
Mm.
Ah, yes, here are the boots.
Those
The
are quite the
boots.
boots.
The
Yes.
boots.
Yes.
The boots
These
also
are,
say both yes. I mean
and also yes. They say both of those things.
So looking at her in this scene and then looking at her in
Mhm.
the other scene with the headdress, I think there's another
Mhm.
practical reason we might have seen that headdress. I understand the aesthetic response to it if you like it or you don't,
Ah,
but that sets this scene apart from the other
Mhm.
one,
yeah.
right? You can tell this is the other scene.
Yes.
And she's no longer appearing as like this dark queen in front of him. She's more
Mhm.
willing to talk to him as an equal or a partner. I mean, she's really not, but she's giving him that impression.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
The
not
other
quite
reason,
as performancy in this
Mm.
one.
Yeah.
yeah. The other reason I think that I just thought of, I thought this was what you were going to say, Pez. The sun, I'm pretty sure, is to his back. It's
Mhm.
right in her face, which is
Yes.
very difficult to not squint when the
Yeah.
sun is right in your face. So that headdress literally could be just to protect her eyes so that she can
Yeah.
act properly. So,
Yeah, that's a thing too.
yeah. There's that, like, yeah, there's one scene in season 1 where I can tell how freezing it is because of the way their faces are. Because
Yes.
like I'm Canadian and I can like, oh, that's how your mouth works when you're almost like dying of cold. Your
Yeah.
mouth does not work properly. So there are just certain things that it's just a case of no, humans cannot get beyond our physical response to, oh, the sun is directly in my eyes. I have to squint. You
Yeah.
can't not do that. So, yeah. Now we're back to
And
this
there's
one.
our
I'm gonna,
baby.
yeah, gonna
Starting
rush through
fires
these.
with sarcasm
Yes,
and snidery.
Mm,
yes. Oh,
my
I
fabulous
kind of love you, Lanfear. Okay.
melodrama baby. Oh, another modern power suit
Yes.
thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Also, arms. Okay.
And it's
sorry.
so different, right, than some of the other Age of Legends
Mhm.
type apparel that we've seen to this point. Even on her, this doesn't have a collar, but see how they've made the tuck points there, which I think they might
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
actually be
what
darts
is
that aren't
that? What
completely
is going
finished.
on?
So I think it's actually darts that they've put into this high-waisted sleeveless shirt to make it look like that Age of Legends exaggerated collar. without actually putting the exaggerated collar in
Yeah,
there.
it was kind of bugging me because I was like, that looks like folds in the fabric, but also
Yeah.
like, man, it is
It's
so
definitely
it's not a
deliberate.
mistake.
Like, they draped that. I just don't know if it's exactly for what I think it is, or if it just looks like that in this particular moment.
And like, yeah, that so obviously looks like a collar right there, and that's, you know.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, it's like a faux collar. I don't know what you'd call it, but yeah, it does. And then she just puts a cloak over it.
And it's a gorgeous cloak.
It is.
It's really interesting. Like, Robert Jordan, here's your buttons.
Yes. Yes.
Since Robert Jordan loves buttons.
I don't know if Bail Doman is gonna like pop up in the costume thing, but I just gotta say, legend. There's like a 6-way war in this town, and he's like, it is time to shop.
Yes.
Let's go steal
It
shit.
is time to shop. Yes.
Shop. Yes. Yes.
Oh, Bail
exactly.
Doman. You special man.
This is one of those things that I don't know that I like. A lot of first time viewers, I don't know that they caught this. That like she was the one to give him the moon dial at the beginning.
The lady from Kyrian. Yep.
Yeah, the lady from Kyrian. I know most of them didn't catch the lady from Kyrian, but that's just a side effect of doing reactions.
Yeah.
You have to talk. Otherwise, you're just sitting there. And pretty much every first time viewer I watched talked through the lady from Kyrian line.
Yeah.
So
one of the things I really like about this particular cloak, we basically are seeing it over that white blouse that we saw her in before. You can tell her arm is bare and she's got the black trousers or skirt on again. This is a very militaristic look with this cloak with the buttons marching down it. It to me reminds me of certain periods of English and French dress where high fashion reflected that like the Napoleonic type wars were going on, or that the American Revolution was going on. That kind of thing all happened sort of at the same time. And so they would dress in a way that reflected the military dress uniforms of the time. Lots of buttons, lots of braid. It also kind of reflects in certain ways what Bail Doman's coat does. I think we'll probably talk about him another time. But it makes her make sense as a lady from Kyrian, and it also makes sense visually as somebody who has this current connection to Bail Doman in this scene.
Yeah. Okay, I was hoping because his hat kind of looked like I don't know. There's an specific army hat that I've seen somewhere where one side of them is up and one is down.
Oh yeah,
am I making
like a
that
Three
up?
Musketeers sort of vibe.
Yep, that is.
Am I making that? Okay, yeah, because that hat, that's what that reminded me of. I don't know if I have a front shot of it here, but I guess I probably don't, because this is the Lanfear.
Yeah, I've usually heard them called a cavalier hat.
Okay.
It can also be called other things. They're made of felt. The hats, as I was told, were one of the reasons that North America was taken over by European invaders, because you made those hats out of a large amount of felt and you got it from the butt of a beaver.
Yeah. Yes, that is why the Canadian national animal is the beaver.
Yes.
Not for dirty reasons. Yes. So,
sure,
Here we are giving you history.
Yes.
Once again, costume change. Girls like, I got suits on suits.
Yes.
So she's got 3 moons on the collar, but look at the silver pattern on the black. That's the same pattern.
Oh, it's on her
on the
white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And then the blouse looks like dragon scale.
That's I was gonna dragon scale. It also, like, we go from this military thing, kind of reminds me of armor as well.
Yep.
But definitely dragon scale.
Absolutely both.
Oh.
I was just so is yeah,
and you know what else I look at in this crowd scene? Like, part of it is just this color palette for Falm, but they're all in red.
Yes. Everybody's in red, except for her. Of course, now she's not hiding who she is. She's all in black with her literal moons.
Literal moon collar.
Yes. I was
the
so entranced by the
guys
completely.
Calls her Mr. Mistopheles.
Yes,
that's wonderful.
And I did laugh.
I love it.
I'm a little afraid that I maybe pushed them to this because I noticed the musical references for the first 3 episodes, and then they suddenly slowed down their releases, and I was like, oh shit, are they putting in musical references in every episode? Because I pointed it out.
Love it.
I don't know if that's true or not, but there is a literal musical reference in every single one of their videos now.
Hey,
like they will cut to a musical for like a couple of seconds.
Fanish shout out to the previewed boys. They are hilarious. I lived for Jay's emotional arc with this season and Adam's inability to keep his face fixed every time something happened that he got excited about.
Yes.
I thought he was going to crawl off camera when he figured out Celine's name.
Yes. Yeah. He was trying so hard to like not react strongly so that Jay wouldn't notice. But he was just like crossing arms, leaning off to the side, like, okay. Okay.
I mean, we know that Gus is like a fucking CIA agent, straight-faced killer when it comes to keeping shit from Allie. So it is sort of fun to watch someone like contort and try to do backflips to get away.
Yes.
Exactly.
I just love this outfit so much.
Also, we have not mentioned her styling, but like this like slicked back hair, black eyeshadow. Especially since we've got this like messy black shadow is part of the Damane and Soldam look too.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
It is interesting.
There's one shot, you can see it's like full eye.
This is like Expanse drummer eyeshadow. It's like not pulling back.
Yes, exactly. And she's got the shoulders still.
Power shoulders.
Again.
Yep.
Yeah, the power shoulders.
She's off to make a bad life choice.
Just thinking she's figured it all out. I got this.
I
love that so much.
Into the world.
Yeah.
I was not expecting this part at the end. I loved it so much, though.
Yeah. This Lanfear here at the moment, the thought that I had, I can't remember if it was the first time I watched her or second time, is this is the Lanfear at the end of the book series in Brandon Sanderson's headcanon.
Yes.
Like, in this moment of like, not headcanon because he wrote the book. So like this is his canon of the story, that she survived. She figured it out, tricked everybody and survived. Mm-hmm. This is the attitude that she has in his mind at the end of the story. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And again, look at how her costume plays with the light.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So much.
And she thinks she's won. She thinks she's figured it all out. She's going to get her glory. And
fuck.
I do love how that dragon scale sort of thing looks in the Megiddian light.
Yeah.
It's almost like a 3D eye thing, like just patterns pop out.
Yeah. And this is my theory on what's going on in this scene, because in the books it is kind of canon that Megiddian is also really, really good in Tel'aran'rhiod, and there is like a debate as to who is better. My theory on this is Megiddian pulled her in to a dream, or pulled her into because the light changes.
Her hair stays long.
Yes, because it's not her Tel'aran'rhiod, it's Megiddian's. And so, but the light changes.
I mean, it does. It does.
It does. But it changes dramatically.
If what's scarier, if that's Tel'aran'rhiod or if it's not.
Exactly.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah,
but that's my theory as to what had happened.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Sorry, what were you going to say, Bree?
No, because Megiddian was amazing at the end of this. Is there one picture of her at the very end? I'm interested in what happens to the coloring on her costume.
Yeah.
Because this is where she stands up and says, "Light help you."
Light help you, Randall.
Which was the boom mic drop of the season.
Yeah.
And I love noticing which people notice that she said light help you and how crazy it is for her to say that.
Her to say
people,
that.
Yeah.
This is the last picture I have, so sorry I don't have one standing. But
it's so good.
Yeah.
Lanfear, my girl, or my new girl, my forever girl now.
Yeah.
And they have like sort of set up a situation by having Megiddian come in here and say, stay away, he's ours now. You were too biased. So now, like, we really do have a situation where she's the Shadow Moirene going forward, we have two people on Rand's side. We don't know really which one to trust.
And
Moirene.
Yeah. And like that was the thing in the book. Like she was always on his side, not necessarily wanting to. Like she was on his side, but pulling him to the goal that he didn't want. Like she was never on his side doing what he wanted to do. She was on his side. She's in her mind. I'm trying to pull you to glory. I'm trying to pull you to like we're going to take down the Dark One our way. Blah blah blah. So it was never what he wanted to do. But yeah.
Like it was in the books, it was very much a chaotic free for all. The way they rolled out the Forsaken in this, we've got a very Lanfear versus the 6 who are left.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, so interesting. Well, thank you for joining for this Lanfear Love Fest we just had.
We're gonna have to do more soon because there's so many more characters to enjoy.
There are so many. It's gonna be so many videos by the end of the final season. It's gonna be unreal.
I know.
Hey, we'll keep you going until season 3. We'll keep you entertained.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. We have lots more costume conversations to have coming up soon, so I hope you'll join us for that. I hope you have a great holiday. Let me know your thoughts on Lanfear's costumes in the comments below. My God, it's sorry, every time I talk, all I can hear in my voice is, why do you sound like a crypt keeper? Anyway, I'm so sorry about that. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on our thoughts on the costumes. Let me know your thoughts on the costumes worn by Lanfear in the comments below. If you like my content and you want to support me, I do have a Patreon. It's also linked in the description below. Thank you so much to my patrons. I love you all. And with that, I'm going to end this here so I can save my voice. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Power walk to the start.
Woo, we're falling backwards. Flicker, 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 flicker.